What if the single biggest thing holding you back in life isn't your job, your bank account, or your circumstances? What if it's you? Look, most of us are living inside invisible walls, mental cages we've built for ourselves. We all have that feeling deep down that we're capable of more, but for some reason, we never actually step outside those walls. Why is that? Because our own brains are wired to sabotage our biggest dreams. It's not a literal statistic, but it feels like 99% of people get stuck here. This video will break down the psychology of why this happens, and, more importantly, what you can do to join the 1% who break free. Make sure you watch till the end. First up, the most powerful barrier, your brain's love affair with the comfort zone. This is that mental space where everything feels predictable, easy, and safe. Now, your brain isn't lazy. It's just incredibly efficient. It loves creating habits and routines to save energy. This is why staying in a job you don't love or a situation you've outgrown often feels safer than the terrifying uncertainty of change. This is a classic psychological trap called the status quo bias. It's your brain telling you that the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. But here's the problem. Real growth never happens in the comfort zone. It only happens when you step into discomfort. The fix isn't some huge, terrifying leap. It's about finding what psychologists call optimal arousal, that perfect sweet spot of being just a little uncomfortable. Introduce one tiny thing that nudges you 1% out of your norm. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Take a totally new route to work. Finally open that book you've been avoiding. These small moves start teaching your brain that new things aren't threats, and you begin the process of rewiring it for growth. The second barrier is a deep, primal fear of the unknown. Your brain's fear center, the amygdala, is designed to see uncertainty as a physical threat. So when you think about starting a new business, asking for that promotion, or learning a new skill, your brain can trigger the same fight or flight response it would if you were staring down a tiger. This leads to a powerful bias called loss aversion. Research by psychologists like Daniel Kahneman has shown that the pain of losing something feels about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. You're naturally more worried about what you might lose, your stability, your money, the respect of others, than what you stand to gain. To fight this, you have to consciously flip the script. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" start asking, "But what if this works?" Visualization is your secret weapon here. When you vividly imagine yourself succeeding, you actually start to activate the success-related pathways in your brain. You're essentially training your brain to see the opportunity, not just the risk. If any of this is hitting home and you're starting to recognize your own invisible walls, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep figuring out how to tear them down together. Barrier number 3 is that loud, obnoxious heckler in your own head, the inner critic. This voice is usually a greatest hits collection of your past failures and insecurities. It's what can lead to a state of learned helplessness. Basically, if you failed a few times, your brain creates a mental highlight reel to protect you from trying and failing again. That voice whispering, "You're not smart enough for this," or "You'll just embarrass yourself," is your brain's clumsy attempt to keep you safe in the familiar zone. The best way to shut it up? Drown it out with cold, hard facts. A fantastic technique rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy is to create what some people call a brag file, or an accomplishment list. Write down every single win you can remember, big or small. Landed a promotion? Write it down. Learned to cook a new meal? Write it down. The next time your inner critic starts its monologue, you pull out that list and read it. This simple act directly challenges the negative story and gives your brain concrete proof of your competence, building new mental pathways based on self-trust. And the final barrier is the sneaky, persistent myth of the perfect moment. You know the one. I'll start when I have more time. I'll do it when I have more money. I'll try when I feel more confident. This is just procrastination dressed up in a fancy suit, and it's driven by a fear of not being ready. We get stuck in analysis paralysis, and the goal gets so huge in our minds that taking the first step feels completely impossible. The way to shatter this illusion is with immediate, tiny action. Use the 5-minute rule. Whatever it is you're putting off, just commit to doing it for 5 minutes. That's it. More often than not, just getting started is the hardest part. Once you're in motion, momentum takes over. Each tiny action gives you a small win, a little hit of dopamine that builds real motivation and confidence. You start proving to your brain that the task isn't so scary after all, dismantling the fear that keeps you stuck. So, these 4 walls, our love of comfort, our fear of the unknown, our inner critic, and the myth of the perfect time are what keep most people from reaching for what they really want. But here's the good news. These walls aren't permanent. Thanks to something called neuroplasticity, your brain is constantly changing and capable of being rewired. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who gets to build them. You have the power to change the stories you tell yourself and actively become the person you know you can be. So my question to you is this: what's the one invisible wall you're going to start pushing against today? Let me know in the comments below, and let's get started.